Dear viewers, yes, there is power in imagination, but we must be inside it and not outside, seeing ourselves from afar, observing our desire already realized. If you don't see yourself with your desire already fulfilled, but in front of it, surrounded by it, with all its colors, textures, flavors, and aromas, you're not harnessing the full power of your imagination. The public already said that there is nothing outside that hasn't come from within, and this reminds me of the story of Adam and Eve, where to create woman, God used one of man's own parts. This is the secret of creation, the secret of imagination, for it is from imagination that the entire realm of matter emerges. We must enter the image of the fulfilled desire as if we were entering ourselves and inhabiting our womb. And when what is outside combines with what is inside, a third element forms as a result of that union. Let me share a personal experience that illustrates this concept. I was on my way to the West Coast when I decided to stop in Chicago to visit some acquaintances. My host was recovering from a serious illness, and his doctor had advised him to move to a single-story house. He did so, but this brought another problem. His 3-story house had been put up for sale, and no one interested in buying it had appeared yet. When I arrived to visit him, I found him depressed. I saw an opportunity there to talk to him and his wife about the power of imagination. I told them the story of a well-known woman in New York who consulted me about a matter related to renting her apartment. This woman had an apartment and a country house in a beautiful city, but she needed to rent out the apartment while she and her family spent the summer in the country house. This story was also told in my book The Power of Awareness, in chapter 23. In previous years, she had managed to rent the apartment long before summer arrived, already in spring. But when she came to consult me, summer had already begun, and no one had shown interest in renting her apartment, despite it being offered by a large real estate agency. I told her that if the solution she was looking for was to see her apartment rented, she should see that result in her imagination. In less than 24 hours later, she called me to let me know that someone interested in renting her apartment had appeared. I explained to the couple who was hosting me in their home how this lady had managed to materialize that solution. At my suggestion, she went to bed that night in the bedroom of her apartment, imagining that she was actually lying down in the bedroom of her country house. She changed everything she saw around her to the image she would be seeing if she were indeed in the place where she wanted to be, feeling the coolness of the countryside and everything else that was peculiar to that place. Thus, she fell asleep feeling the reality of that new assumption, of that new situation she assumed as real for herself, and it didn't take long for this to actually become a reality. It took only one night for her solution to take shape in Caesar's world, in the world of matter. She did this meditation before sleeping for the first and only time on a Thursday, and by Friday, the real estate agency called her saying they had rented her apartment to a distinguished gentleman who met all the requirements she had established for occupying her property. I suggested to the couple of acquaintances that they do the same as this woman. That they go to sleep imagining they were already in their new dwelling, as they had already sold their current, or rather, old house. And they couldn't see themselves in the new house from a distance, but as if everything was already around them. I explained to them that by entering the image, it would become present in their material world, for what comes to this physical world depends on what we observe in the immaterial world of our imagination. Again, what comes to this physical world depends on what we observe in the immaterial world of our imagination. Man is all imagination and must be where his imagination is. You must have heard me say this before. The couple didn't accept this concept well, but I assured them that if they did it, they would prove the effects for themselves. I left their house that same day, and the night of the following day, I received a telegram from them saying, the house was sold. A week later, I received a letter from them telling me that the day I left, they had already put into practice the action of sleeping as if they were already in their new home. Only after being imagined can the event actually happen in the so-called real world. I use the word so-called real because the world of matter is no more real than the world of imagination. In the story I'm going to tell next, we'll see how Mrs. MF changed the focus of her imagination to physically enter the world she had imagined. She and her husband, shortly after getting married, decided they wanted to live in Europe for a year. It seems like an easy goal to achieve, right? But not for them, who had few financial conditions at the time. Going to Europe was like going to another planet in their current conception. But they had participated in my lectures, and Mrs. MF decided that from that day on, she would sleep in a bed somewhere in England, at least in her imagination. But why England? Because she had seen an image on TV of Buckingham Palace and had fallen in love with that vision. She even imagined herself standing silently in front of those tall palace gates, grasping the gate bars with such dedication that she could feel the rough texture of the cold metal. For many nights, she felt happy to be in England in her imagination and fell asleep with that feeling. Some time later, her husband met a European who was instrumental in helping him get a scholarship to study at a major European university. So MF and her husband would indeed go to live in Europe as they had desired and as she had assumed when falling asleep. I want to repeat here that phrase already so repeated but of fundamental importance: man is all imagination and must be where his imagination is. The stone despised by the one who wanted to build was the one that would support the entire construction. Psalm 118, verse 22. And that stone is my imagination, your imagination, our imagination. This is the law of cause and effect, where what is planted is what is harvested, and what is imagined is what is realized. Dear viewers, do you realize the power you have in your hands, or rather, in your minds? Imagination is not a game of fantasy without consequences. It is the most powerful tool we possess to create our reality. Let me delve a little deeper into this concept. When we imagine, we are not simply daydreaming, we are creating an energetic mold for our future reality. It's as if we were writing the script of our life, and the universe, faithful to our mental creations, takes charge of manifesting it on the physical plane. But there is a crucial detail that many overlook: the intensity and vividness of our imagination. It's not enough to think superficially about what we desire. We must completely immerse ourselves in the imagined experience, feel it with all our senses, live it as if it were already real. Think of a film director. They don't just write a script and expect the movie to make itself. They immerse themselves in every scene, visualize every detail, feel the emotions of the characters. In the same way, we must be the directors of the movie of our life. Now, I propose an exercise. Close your eyes for a moment and think about your deepest desire. It could be a new house, a dream job, a loving relationship, whatever it may be. But don't limit yourself to thinking about it as something distant. Imagine that you already have it. How do you feel? What do you see around you? What smells do you perceive? What sounds do you hear? Immerse all your senses in this imagined reality. This exercise, practiced regularly and with conviction, has the power to transform your reality. But remember, the key lies in consistency and unwavering faith in the process. Neville Goddard, one of the great masters in this field, used to say, "Imagination creates reality." And he wasn't referring to an abstract or distant reality, but to our everyday, tangible, and concrete reality. Let me share another story that illustrates this principle. I met a young artist who dreamed of exhibiting his works in a famous gallery in New York. Every night, before going to sleep, he imagined himself walking through the gallery, seeing his paintings hanging on the walls, hearing the admiring comments of visitors, feeling the pride and satisfaction of having achieved his dream. He did it with such vividness and conviction that sometimes, upon opening his eyes, he was surprised to find himself in his small apartment and not in the gallery. He maintained this practice for months, without getting discouraged, even when external circumstances seemed not to change. One day, while painting in a park, a man approached to admire his work. It turned out to be an art curator who was looking for new talents for an exhibition, in the same gallery that the young man had been visualizing. You can imagine the outcome. 6 months later, his paintings were hanging exactly where he had imagined them so many times. This story teaches us several important lessons. First, persistence. The young man didn't give up, even when he didn't see immediate results. Second, the vividness of his imagination. He didn't limit himself to vaguely wishing to exhibit in a gallery, but created a complete experience in his mind. And third, inspired action. He continued painting, improving his art, putting himself in situations where he could be discovered. Because, and this is crucial to understand, Imagination is not a substitute for action, but its perfect complement. When we vividly imagine, we are tuning our mind and our energies to our desire. This naturally leads us to take actions aligned with that desire, to recognize opportunities we would have previously overlooked, to be in the right place at the right time. Now, it's possible that some of you are thinking, "This sounds good, but my situation is different. I have real problems, concrete obstacles." And I understand you. Life can present us with challenges that seem insurmountable. But I ask you, what do you have to lose by trying? Imagine for a moment that you dedicate the next 30 days to practicing this technique. Every night, before going to sleep, you completely immerse yourself in the reality of your fulfilled desire. You live it, you feel it, you experience it in your imagination with all the intensity possible. What's the worst that could happen? That nothing changes? You would be exactly where you are now. But what if it works? What if, as in the stories I've told you, your reality begins to align with your imagination? The power of the human mind is vastly superior to what most of us believe. Scientists, philosophers, and mystics have explored its depths for centuries, and we are still discovering new facets of its potential. Imagination, far from being a mere escape from reality, is a tool for creating reality. William Blake, the visionary poet and artist, once said, "What is now proved was once only imagined." Think about that for a moment. Every invention, every work of art, every advance of humanity, began as an image in someone's mind. Someone who dared to imagine something that didn't yet exist and then worked to make it a reality. You have that same creative power within you. No matter what your current situation is, you have the ability to imagine and, therefore, to create a different reality. But remember, effective imagination is not passive fantasy. It is an active and vivid immersion in the desired experience. So I challenge you, choose a desire, something you really want to manifest in your life. It can be big or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it's something that really excites you. For the next 30 days, before going to sleep, dedicate at least 10 minutes to completely immerse yourself in the reality of that fulfilled desire. Live it in your imagination with all your senses. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction of having achieved it. And during the day, maintain that feeling of "I already have it" as much as you can. Don't worry about the how. Your job is to keep the vision and the feeling alive. The universe will take care of the details. Remember, you are participating in a powerful experiment. You are testing your ability to create your reality. Keep a journal of your experiences, of the changes you notice, of the coincidences that start to occur. And above all, have fun with this. Creation should be an act of joy, not stress or anxiety. Enjoy the process of being the creators of your own reality. In conclusion, dear viewers, you have in your hands, or rather, in your minds, a tool of incalculable power. Imagination, when used correctly, is the key to unlocking a life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment. Don't underestimate the power of your thoughts and mental images. Every day, with every thought, you are shaping your future. So choose wisely what to focus your attention on. Cultivate mental images that inspire you, that elevate you, that bring you closer to your dreams. To further enhance our understanding and application of the power of imagination, let's explore two additional subtopics that are closely related to the core message. The role of emotional intensity in imagination. While we've discussed the importance of vivid visualization, it's crucial to delve deeper into the role of emotional intensity in the imaginative process. The strength and depth of the emotions you associate with your imagined scenarios can significantly impact the speed and effectiveness of your manifestation. When you engage in imaginative exercises, it's not enough to simply create mental pictures. You need to feel the emotions associated with your desired reality as if it were already true. The more intense and real the emotion, the more powerful the impact on your subconscious mind and, consequently, on your reality. To increase emotional intensity in your imaginative practice, use all your senses in your visualizations. Don't just see your desire, hear, smell, taste, and touch it in your mind. Practice emotional memory. Recall a time when you felt extremely happy, confident, or successful, and channel that feeling into your imagined scenarios. Use physical gestures or movements that align with your desired state to enhance the emotional experience. Create a vision board or use other visual aids that evoke strong positive emotions related to your desire. Remember, the goal is to make your imagined scenarios so vivid and emotionally charged that your body begins to believe it's already experiencing your desire. This alignment of thought, emotion, and physical sensation creates a powerful magnetic force that attracts your desires into your reality. The concept of living in the end. Another crucial aspect of effective imagination is the concept of living in the end, a principle often emphasized by Neville Goddard. This idea goes beyond simple visualization and involves fully embodying the state of having already achieved your desire. Living in the end means adopting the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors of the person who has already realized their desire. It's about creating such a vivid and convincing inner experience of your desired reality that your subconscious mind accepts it as true. To practice living in the end. Throughout your day, ask yourself, how would I think, feel, and act if my desire were already fulfilled? Make decisions from the perspective of already having what you desire. For example, if you're manifesting financial abundance, make choices as if money were no object. Speak and think in the present tense about your desire. Instead of saying I will be successful, say I am successful. Surround yourself with elements that reflect your desired reality. If you're manifesting a new career, start dressing the part or decorating your space to align with that career. Living in the end is powerful because it aligns your entire being, thoughts, emotions, and actions with your desire. This alignment creates a strong resonance that the universe must respond to, bringing your desire into physical manifestation. By incorporating these concepts of emotional intensity and living in the end into your imaginative practice, you can significantly enhance its effectiveness. Remember, imagination is both an art and a science. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to explore and refine your approach. As you continue on your journey of harnessing the power of imagination, stay curious and open to new insights and techniques. Every person's path is unique, and what works best for you may be a combination of different approaches. Trust your intuition, stay committed to your practice, and remain open to the magic and wonder of the universe. Your ability to create the life of your dreams through imagination is limitless. Embrace this journey with joy and excitement, knowing that you're aligning with the infinite possibilities that await you. The universe is conspiring in your favor, ready to bring your desires to fruition in ways more beautiful and abundant than you can imagine. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. With consistent practice of these imaginative techniques, unwavering faith, and inspired action, you can manifest a life beyond your wildest dreams. Trust in the process, stay committed to your vision, and watch as the universe aligns to bring your desires into physical form. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the power of imagination. May your journey be filled with wonder, growth, and the realization of your deepest desires. Until next time, keep imagining, keep believing, and keep creating the life of your dreams.